And away we go.
Oh, my stream froze. Uh-oh.
We start off with 5 rupees in the Link's house. Edium seems to be on a different game in his own right. We also have a match check. We have crystals in the light world, with the 5/6 crystal being on Eastern Palace. And today's start is going to be once Wolfie enters proper. Drops into the dungeon proper. We get a Cancer Mario start.
It's the worst start.
Objectively worse for you.
Okay, so the reason the cane's not good is because it's one of the slowest weapons to actually farm enemies. So if you need to look for bombs, it ends up being like really, really horrible because, you know, I can spend tons of time to kill enemies and look for bombs, or I could skip it and save tons of time and maybe just get lucky with bombs in the chest. But it looks like it's not going to be a factor today because there was just bombs in that first chest. So all the starts are identical.
All right, so luckily enough that is a lucky find for all 3 of the runners. Yeah, I'm not sure why Edium is way ahead here, but
He's just having some stream issues. Nothing we can do about it.
yeah, maybe just pretty much it's going ridiculously fast too. It's like a whole big old speed run. Even though technically this is a speed run. Get a heart piece in the map chest.
Yeah, the cane when you already have bombs is actually kind of a nice weapon because, like, you don't have to worrying about your magic because you can cast the cane like 50,000 times before you run out. Casting it once will do like 4 hits before the block disappears.
All right, so you throw these pots at this guard, which is temper sword damage as well. Get the big key, and we also find 100 rupees in Zelda's chest.
See, this is why standard's boring. Ever since they took out the item, the bomb and arrow capacity upgrades, like, it just became really common. They just find bombs right away, and now there's no variation, and we just have to watch everybody for 6 minutes do the exact same thing.
I mean, the only bomb upgrades you can really get is in that one cave in the light world, but more maybe where the ice palace is.
All right, Ravis is clearly in the lead. Everybody else might as well forfeit.
Although I did see it looked like it was a key sanity seed, so for Edium's side, but
yeah, I think we should probably just ignore what's happening on Edium's screen.
Pretty much,
it has nothing to do with this race.
Yeah, it's a key sanity. This is a standard.
Are you going to be nice to us, Ropa Way? It's going to be nice to Ravis. It's going to be nice to Fear Agent. Oh my gosh.
Looks like this is the same. I mean, it's random each time, at least for each play. So, yeah, we got our Dark Cross key, which is the only thing that we could find here.
Everybody getting nice patterns to the Ropa Way.
Yeah, that rope hallway is always going to be random. Like, no matter what you do, it's going to be random each time you come in.
Ravis going for the I sure hope that's right there strategy, and it totally paid off. And what do we find in the back of escape?
Our map. So luckily for Ravis, at least we don't have to worry about the map like being in the sanctuary chest. Otherwise, they would have to skip it.
Right. This is just a normal seed, normal standard seed. No weird settings involved.
And Ravis comes out at sub 6, which is really impressive for the bombs, for the 3 bombs here. We get 20 rupees on there, so that there's pretty much nothing in the back of Escape, at least just in Escape in general, outside of the canister Mario Star, which we're supposed we get no matter what. So as far as sprites are concerned, if people are wondering, Wolfie is Nia from Xenoblade, Fear running his usual Minish Cap Link sprite, and Ravis running his usual Sonic sprite.
Nobody opting to go for a lumberjack check. But we get bombs from the tree pole. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, I normally when I do a standard, I just go immediately for lumberjack just to get it out of the way.
Your agent tried to skip the shield, but accidentally walked into it. And no save and quits. Everybody will be going to Kakariko. Sometimes you see people like grab the Lost Woods and then save and quit to South Shore or something. It can be beneficial, like if there was a flute or a bottle or something in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, of course. But this is the route that normally all the runners will take anyway, so this is not really too concerning. So, of course, I always say Kakariko is what defines the seed. It's going to be a jet or not so. We have a Power Glove, a lot of 20s, and 10 arrows. And more 20s.
Hopping down to the well. 50 rupees. Oh my gosh.
Got a heart piece. 10 arrows. Numbers at 50 and 5. So
fantastic. Well.
So we see that this is mainly this Kakariko really wants you to be as rich as possible. 10 bombs. This would normally these 10 bombs are the bombs that you would be given if you had started with bombs from Uncle. And our mirror in the chicken hut.
All right, so early mirror usually means early Death Mountain. We do need only a lamp before that's in logic. Mirror is actually like a really nice thing to find early because there's just so many like out of the way mirror locations all over the world. So the later you get the mirror, the more horrible they become. Getting them early puts them all in logic immediately. But that's way better than them all being in logic after you've already dipped all the stuff around them.
Yeah, we have a heart container as well on the library, but that's not going to be a big deal here. So,
And just a heart piece on the race game. Everybody checking it before doing the race game, getting rewarded for that.
here's as if we did get Edium back online.
Oh, hey, Adium's back.
Yeah, I just mentioned that. Ravis seems to have forgotten about. Oh no, wait, he's actually setting up for the Houlihan. That makes a whole lot of sense for him to do this.
It doesn't, actually.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he'll get 500 rupees for doing Zora, which is in logic right now, but like he doesn't want to go to Zora. Is the problem?
But yeah, it's a whole 225 rupees, and if you're a little fun fact, if you don't know, if you don't look at the Houlihan, if you don't, because there's a hint tile there, but that hint tile really doesn't do much. It's just that when you read it, it just shows the tournament winners from the major tournaments, these main tournaments of the randomizer.
Fear Agent, however, going over to Agina's cave. This is a very metagamey play. He knows that nobody actually wants to go here, so if there's something here, he's going to have a huge advantage.
Yeah, this play is very uncommon, and I did that originally in the past, but never paid out for me. So it's just more just to get it out of the way thing. But we did find a lamp and ether.
It's an ice rod.
Our single arrow and 20 rupees. So we have one of our unique items out of the way, which was our single arrow, and we had, of course, ether and our lamp.
Yeah, Fear Agent found the ice rod over in Agina's cave. It may be a very long time before anybody else makes their way over to that location. It depends on like if they have like a reason to go over to the desert area, like finding the book, or just the flute so they can mirror over to it quickly. Most people will put off Agina's cave for a very long time otherwise.
Yeah, that ice rod is really nice to find for Fear Agent, considering that Agina is super out of the way. It's a big payout for him. And we find our second shield over on the ice rod cave, which I don't know why that a fire shield is inside the ice rod, just chilling in a chest. Maybe it wants to say warm and this in a really cold cave. I don't know. Looks like Ravis is opting to go for the Death Mountain play, and I don't really blame him for doing this, considering this is in logic. He's going to first check Lumberjack Cave.
Yeah, it's kind of scary to go up there right now, because he can get into Tower Fairy, but he can't actually fight Moldorm.
Right.
And there is our Moldorm weapon right there inside the hospital. That's the hammer. Wolfie finds that and says, now the mountain is to play. Let's go, Moldorm.
Yeah, I agree with this. We're just also a moon part away from Dark World access. Now, considering that our current item loadout at the moment, it is possible that at the Pyramid Ledge can have the Moon Pearl. It is possible. I have seen it happen.
That is by far the least likely thing that will happen, though.
Yeah,
but it's possible.
It is practically impossible. It's pretty much the same probability as if you're getting a Moon Pearl on the pedestal. It's very, very rare for that to happen. Although, admittedly, the Moon Pearl on the pedestal is even like low, very, very low in probability. We have a cape on top of Spectacle Rock.
Both Edium and Ravis are checking this blind to get the hint tile. They only find 20 rupees, but maybe something good on the tile? Yeah, that's pretty good. Don't do left side swamp, it says.
Yeah, that's a really good hint for Idiom and Ravis. Idiom doing the bomb jump, which he was successful in. Without a sword, too. Since Idiom uses the Fox Sprite a lot, he knows the positioning for his sprite in order to line up that bomb jump. We have our map check as well. We have our 5-6 crystal, other 5-6 crystal over on the Misery Mire area, and I believe I also got a hint that said from Sahasrara that Green Pendant was on Swamp Palace, and I believe I saw
Ice and Thieves.
Ice and Thieves were our remaining pendants.
Edium going into Tower of Hera, he does not have a weapon to fight Moldorm. He can use the Cannon Smart to hit these switches, though, which is a lot more efficient than using bombs.
Yeah, that's the cost of having to do the doing the mountain first before you do anything else inside. Yeah, just doing anything else. You're going for Sahasrara's hut would have been the better option. And also, Graveyard Ledge is dead, so that is also a good hint.
Yeah, another good hint.
Here's if like Ravis wants to go for Venus Cave as well before that Desert Lights check.
Yeah, he saved and quit after the Spectacle Rock because he did not want to go into Tower of Hera without a weapon like Edium's doing.
That's a good call for him to do this play, because he will begin that Ice Rod.
Fury Agent and Wolfie, however, will be going into Tower of Hera with the hammer. This could end up being pretty big if there was progression on Moldorm himself. Yes. And just being able to single dip this dungeon is nice. Although it's not the biggest deal. Like if Wolfie can't, or not Wolfie, but Edium can't finish this. As long as there wasn't progression on Moldorm. Because he'll have an opportunity to come here later when he's checking the rest of Death Mountain. Fortunately,
that since it's Hera's Firelight, and we did get that lamp early, so that is really nice to find. And that's not a big deal. So they can continue.
Ravis making his way into Sahasrara's head. I would expect him to save and quit here and go right back up the mountain. Which he does. Wolfie, very scared of those mini Moldorms, capes his way through the room to make sure he doesn't die.
We got a bug net. That's one of our items, and we got our guaranteed boots in, which is an Ice Palace.
Nifty.
It looks like Wolf took an intentional death to refill her health once she got the big key out of the big chest. Not even just the big chest, the big key out of that big key chest. And Vanilla Moon Pearl.
Vanilla Moon Pearl. Alright, so second item wasn't on Moldorm. This is very good for Edium. He'll be able to go back to Moldorm at his leisure.
In the most ironic way possible, but the Vanilla Moon Pearl.
So it'll still be a time loss for Edium, right? Having to climb back up Tower of Hera like that. But in the grand scheme, it's not going to be like the biggest difference maker. There could be something over in like Paradox Cave though that Wolfie and Fear Agent and Ravis are going to get. That it might take Edium longer to get over to, because this hammer right here is going to be his straight up Dark World access. He may not go to the mountain right away.
Yeah, that's the problem here. Although, with that in consideration, he went for a Hera first, and then he got that Moon Pearl out of the big chest. He might consider just holding off Hera until the very end of the game, in which he just mirrors in front of Ganon's tower, then goes into Hera, then comes back to the portal, and he'll have direct access to Ganon's tower. And Wolfie takes out Moldorm, as we were talking about that little thing about is Hera, and with that, Wolfie draws first blood.
So Edium's going to start his Dark World trek right here in Hype Cave. But how hype is it?
Me personally, I just like to name hype caves. I don't really believe in hype. It's just a meme from like 12 versions. Because of the way, because there's a bug in the fill system that led everyone into the hype cave. And well, okay, Nick, I take that back. That was a bow in there and blue mail.
That's pretty.
And Quake. Okay, I take that back. I take that back. Hype cave. I take that back.
The bow itself is worth like 10 hype points at least. So with that bow, Edium's actually going to be able to full clear both Eastern and Palace of Darkness, already having the hammer and the lamp.
Yeah, that was a nice play for Edium to just, again, I really, even though it was a time loss for him, Edium, since he found the Moon Pearl in the great chest, I believe that he might just want to hold off until the very end of the game to get that check out of the way. Well, not even just clear Hera, and then since he found the bow in Hype Cave, he can do the full clears, do the Pot Eastern combo, and he'll be pretty much ahead almost. We'll be off to Parax Cave. Cave only had bombs, and the Floating Islands only had 20 rupees. And this is 20 red 20 rupees, not the 20 green rupees that you saw in the 9 o'clock daily that happened yesterday with Soreless, all dungeons, key sanity. Thanks in part to the rando commands from the Sahasrara bots over on the ALTTP Discord.
And Paradox was pretty much empty. We did find the powder, which could be impactful, but right now it's just a fetch quest.
Yeah, Wolfie can do the magic bat. Otherwise, it's mainly just utility and it's safety. You can power anti-fairies, and he doesn't have the bug net, but if Wolfie did grab the bug nets, she could just had some bottles in hand. She could just catch some berries and put them in a bottle for help get some.
I believe everyone does have the bug net.
Yeah, the bug net. I think it was like in Hera.
Wolfie, where are you going? Are we doing early flipper checks?
I believe so. Since she got the Moon Pearl, she's gonna just do the fake flipper. We have our first sword on Lake Hylia Island.
This is unusual that Wolfie is doing these fake flipper checks. Like, honestly, this is like the weirdest time I've ever seen somebody do this, but that doesn't mean it can't pay off.
I like how Rapus is using the ice rod to take out these enemies in Spiral Cave.
Yeah, dying on his way through Spiral Cave would be pretty bad.
And yet using the cape again just to get through those enemies. And his never sword, this is our actual first sword, and that's an Eastern Palace for Edium. and we'll use that sword to aim at the eyes of Goma. Hopefully now going to reset her position so that she's water walking while she's going through the...
I think someone in chat said Wolfie is a he instead of a she.
Yeah, a name like Wolfie kind of sounds like a she to me, but like it's hard for me to not to say she whenever it's instead of he. But I need some information about the preferred pronouns. Dang it! Blue is our next blue male. There's our second male on Zorledge. She Wolf. There you go. So Wolfie now going to do Zora. A lot of money to do so, and Zora barely likes her, likes him, and gets a heart piece.
Anim had a little trouble there on the damage boost to the big chest, to the big key chest, but makes it through to the heart remaining. That's good enough. The rest of the dungeon's not too dangerous when you have the lamp.
Yeah, if you hit the fire rod, this would be a lot more simpler too. So looks like he's doing a different route, so that way he does not get hit by that statue thing. I forget the name of it. Igors. That's what it is. Igors. Wolfie now going to get his bow from Hype Cave. Now, let me actually fill up since Wolfie's in Hype Cave right now, I'm going to finish my thought that I had before. Hype Cave was only just given that because of a bug with the fill algorithm, which put a lot of items in this cave alone. This happened like 12 versions ago. Or at least I want to think it's 12 versions.
Well, regardless of how hype it is, I think the name's gonna stick, right? And we'll just call it Hype Cave forever and ever.
Yeah, because once we give it a name, it pretty much stays in there for history to come.
Cave 45, anybody?
Sexy statue room, pod. Zelda gamer room in Eastern Palace.
So Fear Agent opted to do Palace of Darkness first. There was a sword in Eastern, I believe. So maybe he'll be missing that, but it's not a big deal for these dungeons, having a sword. Looks like Ravis is also going to do pod first. And Wolfie, just now getting his bow, will be headed over to the pod eastern area, and he'll have to make a choice.
Yeah, considering now that since the bow is in Hype Cave already, it's it's not too hard. It's not really too. It would be foolish to not go for this pod eastern play.
Yeah, no, there's very little deviation here. Everybody gets the bow and immediately goes to the 2 crystal dungeons like a full player. Nothing else really makes sense at this point.
And Ravis getting a really good hint too that there's nothing on the big chest of Swamp Palace. Just some money,
wow,
that's it.
That would be really good information if we knew where the big key in Swamp was.
Yeah, but since that it's a pendant, it only limits it to just the boss and the other checks, just like the normal standard checks, like the flooded chests and
Fear Agent, why? So Fear Agent was doing a nifty little maneuver where you throw the bomb at the crystal switch and then fall off, which spawns you on the other side of the switches, the pegs while the bomb is exploding. But he went up too quickly, and if the bomb explodes while you're going up the stairs, it hits twice, and he got locked out.
Me personally, I would have seen it be a lot more better if he hovered there, but he did get a hook shot.
Hook shot's good.
Yeah, because the reason why I say it would have been better if Fear Agent would have hovered there, because he knows how to hover.
Where would he hover though? There was nowhere to hover.
I mean, you could hover if you're like P-Train, you could just hover to the one chest to the right of you and check that immediately without having to get the bow. But since we already had the bow, not really worth it. It's just there for just show and pretty much wasting your time.
Yeah, CCC brings up another point. We don't even have the boots yet.
I mean, yeah, that's true. We don't have the boots, so that is correct.
I feel like a true hoverer, somebody who embodies the spirit of hovering, would not need the boots. But is that Fear Agent? Is he that person?
Well, we have like three top runners that can hover, and that would be P-Train, Fear Agent, of course, Andy. Reaver's on the Helmut Arcane fight, by the way, so...
Yeah, he's opting to fight Helmasaur early and not head into the back first.
Well, the Racing Council will figure that out, Techno Link. Reaver gets the compass and his second crystal.
Wolfie's doing the hammer jump here. It doesn't really make a difference though in this particular situation, because like the main reason to do the hammer jump is to avoid death warping. But since they all have the mirror, like he wouldn't have to death warp anyway.
Yeah, I believe he wanted to save a key there, but I don't get why he would hammer jump anyway, because he has two keys. Normally, you would save a key, use a hammer jump for just one key.
You save a key in a situation where the vanilla big key chest is a small key and the Southwest room is a small key, but you found the big key in another one of the locations. I think at this point it was mostly just swag. I can hammer jump. Haha!
Yeah, it's not really worth to do the hammer jump in this situation, but he just did it because why not? Is Fear Agent actually going to do the Helmut Arcane fights with just the hammer? It is possible. You could just shoot at the air, just shoot arrows at it, or you just hammer the eye, but hammer the crystal. But it's a little bit tricky because, like I said before, the hammer hitbox is very, very small.
Yeah, hammering Helmasaur in Phase 2 is a very dangerous maneuver. You typically have to be pretty close to him to get that to be close enough. And without a sword to protect himself, it's the best way to do it would be to like walk into Helmasaur and then use the iframes to get in closer. But Fear Agent doesn't exactly have a plethora of hearts right now. So we'll probably see arrow strats in Phase 2.
Yeah, other than that, you can just shoot arrows at it. It works better with just shooting arrows at it. Because of that, he needs to do a little trick where, which I don't know how to do. You hold the hammer out and then you immediately look down. I don't know how you set that up, but it's...
Well, when you hammer the mask, it flips your spread around and forces you to look down. Like that just happens normally.
Oh, it's a force thing. It's not like...
So The trick with the hammering the mask like that without a sword is just mostly just timing, like not walking up too far after the H hammer hit before you hammer again, and then also paying attention to where Helmasaur is moving and make sure he's not going to walk right into you.
Okay, so it's not like it needs some ridiculous fancy setup or whatever.
No,
That's like
no, it's just being careful.
right. Okay, I gotcha. Fortunately for Fear Agent and soon to be Ravis, you will be gaining a sword. So would be a lot nicer to have that. I would mostly just hold out my sword and start hammering like crazy because it doesn't cause you to do that weird flip.
So finding the hookshot and pot ended up being really nice for Edium, who had not been to East Death Mountain yet. So he won't have to go up the long way and can instead just hookshot right over to Paradox Cave. It does make getting both Spiral Cave and Moldorm kind of annoying. So we might
You're like me now.
We might see him do a Spiral Cave and then walk up Paradox an extra time so he can go over to Moldorm and do Spike Cave there. It's hard. Talking is hard, Renderer. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, to
I
be
don't
fair,
fault you.
I mean, you're not like me where I talk way too fast for my brain to catch up. So, I mean, I guess I don't know. Wolfie and Helma's Arcane fights while Edium's doing his Paradox Cave check.
Oh, Wolfie already down to 2 hearts here on Helmasaur. Be careful. Very nice opening pattern from Helmasaur in Phase 2 there. Makes it super easy. Edium falls doing the Spectacle, or the Paradox Cave Bomb jump, but walks back up, gonna try it again. Nails it on the second attempt.
So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Edium, since he found the hook shot, he goes back into Hera and kills Moldorm.
Yeah, he's in this really weird position where he's either going to have to go down to Spiral Cave or go down to Spike Cave. And to do both requires him to walk up the mountain a whole extra time.
But if Edium decides to leave Hera behind for the very end, he might save him a little bit of time, but
no, like the hair is not really the concern at the moment, right? Because he already found both items in there. He knows he can do that whenever he wants.
Yeah,
and
that's
mostly just
what he's doing.
And it looks like he's opting to not do Spike Cave. He will just fit that in later. A little unfortunate though, because that would have been like the one advantage he could have had in this situation, since everybody else did Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave, but was unable to do Spike Cave at the time.
Well, Spike Cave is a really risky one anyway, considering his health. And that he doesn't have half magic.
Yeah, Spike Cave is currently not in logic, but he does have enough health with the cape to get through it.
Yeah, but since the cape kind of drains a whole lot of health, you would have to use the cape at like near like the for the halfway point.
He should have plenty of hearts for that with the cape.
And it's maybe just my low concern. And
I have it written down somewhere, like exactly how many hearts you need to go through it with cape and no half magic.
All right. I'm more of just a kind of more cautious person than anything else. Better to be safe than sorry. So Edium now making the ultimate decision to go for Skull Woods, which makes sense for the consideration that Thieves sounds a pendant and it's a crystal.
It's 6 hearts, according to my notes.
6 hearts, okay.
Yeah, with 6 hearts with the hook shot and the cape, you can get through with 1 magic bar. But it's not in logic. Like the logic doesn't consider heart containers right now, so or the hook shot for that matter. So logically, he would need a magic extension, either a bottle with a green potion or half magic that he just found in Skull Woods.
What kind of curse did you put on Idiom?
Why didn't you do Spike Cave Idiom? It's like got like all the progression, man.
Raven's on the taking game mode sphere agents in Skull Woods. Gets a heart piece from Ravis.
Vanilla.
Well, one of many vanilla locations. That's...
Yeah, you get to see a lot of vanilla heart pieces in Rando.
Oh yeah, because they're just junk items.
Oh, Fear Agent finding that second item in Skull Woods. It is the book. This is pretty good news, though, for Woofy and Idiom. If they both get the book out of Skull Woods, they have a reason now to go over to the desert area and get that ice rod.
Yeah, so that is really helpful. And since we don't have the fire rod, it's just an easily get in, get out. Ravis now doing the magic bat. 3 bombs on the bumper cave, gets 300 rupees. Ravis has been cursed with fortune.
How horrible for him.
I mean, to be fair, it's the curses in the magic bat gives you are like akin to the demon chest or the phantom chest or shadow chest from Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. They're meant to, though the shadow chests think they're actually curses, but they're actually just different modes like paper mode, airplane mode, roll up paper mode. I guess I don't know what that actually is.
Wolfie tried to do the top right strap, but got hit by the Armos right away and has free ball it from here. But he has plenty of arrows and no problem. Give me that map.
And since Idiom's in the vicinity, he's going to do a pet check. There's a lot of items on the table right now.
I'm very against this move.
Idiom, there's a lot of items on the table at the moment, but we just get a heart container, and that's the pet out of the way.
Well, that just ruins everybody's fun, doesn't it? Thanks, Idiom. Jeez. This guy.
Yeah, this guy had to ruin all the fun. Like, come on. You had to ruin all the fun of waiting until the end of the credits to figure out what's on the pedestal. How dare you?
I mean, the odds of pet being required are they're always pretty low. But in this particular situation, where we can't even walk into Ice Palace, it was unlikely that pet was going to be required anyway.
Yeah. It's just there's a lot of caveats on that. The dependent layout was just begging for you to just look at the pedestal and say, yeah, it's completely dead, not really worth your time. And this is why I don't believe in the pedestal.
Wait, you don't believe in the pedestal?
I mean, if I don't want the runners to be tortured to having to go through an old dungeon seed.
I mean, I want the pedestal to be required, but I knew it was unlikely, and Idiom just kind of dashed all our hopes and dreams.
Well, yeah, again, the pet is has a really low chance to be required anyway, and it's just
like zero, right?
It's like it's like the same amount of same amount of percentages as if you were finding unusuals in TF2, just unboxing crates.
I think Ravis is going to do the same thing with that pet check. I don't know. Everything's a gamble, right? But I just when you can't even pull the pedestal, you can't even do all the dungeons that get you the pedestal. I think going out of your way to do the pet check doesn't make a ton of sense. I guess it's not that far because they have the mirror and they were in Skull Woods, but still. If it had been something awesome, like it said Fire Rod on pet or something, then that would have been pretty huge for doing that early pet check. Fear Agent also going to do that early magic bat. Makes a lot of sense. Meanwhile, Edium going through Thieves Town. Brave has given us a bumper cave check. It was nothing. Not following it up with the Graveyard Ledge check. Good call, because we found a hint for that. I think. Didn't we? Yes?
What?
The Graveyard Ledge? Didn't we find a hint for that?
Yeah, we found a hint for the Graveyard Ledge being pretty much useless. Bombs.
Edium continuing through the back of Thieves Town, coming up on the Hellway, which is very much so a Hellway. One of the few locations of the game that is appropriately named.
Alright, so far there's nothing in Village of Outcast.
Nice bug catching net hint.
That's the well. This game, you've trolled us already with the bug nets. You don't have to tell us that we already been trolled. Thank you, reinforcement hint.
I guess we can't be mad at the hints though, right? Because we've already had a couple really good hints, like the left side swamp hint and the Graveyard Ledge hint were both very, very helpful.
Yeah, hints are kind of a mixed bag. They can be really good at the best of times, and they can be really, really, really bad at the worst of times. And I'm not considering the green. The green.
Oh, we got
hints,
the boots hint too.
Yeah, the boots hint, which is a nice palace.
That's so gross.
Yeah, because it's pendant ice palace.
Of course, desert is one of our crystals, so the odds of it being boots required is, fairly high. We might see somebody, if the opportunity arises, go into Ice Palace first before even finding out if it's boot slot.
Yeah, it's. Ugh.
Did Fear Agent skip Thieves Town?
I believe he did. He's going for the Bombos medallion or the Bombos tablet.
He might have done just first four, and I missed it.
Yeah, if he did first four, that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense because it's really risky to go for all four anyway. And it's just a heart container on Bombos medallion. It's going for the Desert Palace play, actually.
Wait, did we have a death in Thieves Town? I thought for sure somebody was getting the maiden at some point. Oh, Edium died. No! Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I got distracted when I saw Fear Agent go into Bomba's tablet.
Yeah, I saw him die. I didn't really say much about it.
He's back on track, though. Making his way over to that silly maiden girl.
I can either be a key or an item here, which is going to be a key.
This confirms there is something in that big chest. I hope it's something good.
Yeah, the reason why I say it can be a key or an item is because line will never hold a key. It cannot have the key. If it was an item, the key would have been locked behind the big chest.
Ah, just a piece of heart. And we are boots locked here in Desert. That is a big key on the torch. Good hint, though. Don't do Pyramid Fairy.
So yeah, so far we actually knocking out all the out of the way checks, and now we just need a Titans and the flippers to make this logically required. Just make it logical.
Alright, where do we go now, Fear? Pyramid Catfish.
My hunch is that you have to go for Thieves Town because it's the only play you can really make have something of use. But so far, this Thieves Town hasn't been doing so hot. Yeah, it didn't really do much for him. So
Fear currently being reported for not doing the Back of Thieves, which everybody else will be doing.
Yeah, it's going for the first 4 checks is a lot more safer than just going through Thieves Town outright. Just so that it's a big gamble to make, and if it doesn't pay off, then you're going to be wasting a whole lot of time. And if you rather than you just doing the first 4 checks. So Fear is off to do the catfish.
Yeah, he can also mirror to walk over to Zora, but still no flippers, so Waterful Fairy and stuff will be out of the way for him. Although I believe we already saw those checks from Woofy, and they are all at nothing. So for us, the viewers, it's just catfish we're worried about.
Yeah, catfish is the might be the next possible occasion for him to find it. Since Graveyard Ledge is dead.
I think this might actually be the last thing, other than Spike Cave.
We have a Mirror Shield.
Spike Cave's the play, you guys.
Yep, that's what you really need to do. Go for Spike Cave. So Edia might be able to snatch the lead. Although Ravis is already up.
Ravis with the God Vision.
Yeah, Ravis is actually going for that play right now. So Spike Cave is the option to make. If it isn't that, but if it wasn't that, then I'd be surprised. I don't know where else to go.
Yeah, I think it's just Spike Cave right now.
Yeah, considering that we have a bunch of hints that say like to not go. That like Graveyard Ledge is already dead, and a lot of locations have been dead, and that's a loud hint. Thank
you, Suzuki89, for subscribing to Wolfie. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the Wolf Pack.
And some pocket change for the Ether tablet. That's a big old what face for a Wolfie. Can we just get a wolf face? Can we get a what face and chat for Wolfie?
So from Ravis's point of view, he has other things he could do. He hasn't seen Catfish. He hasn't seen the flipper checks, Zora and all that. But he wants to do Spike Cave, and Spike Cave is 100% gonna be the call.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if there was nothing here. Then we just like, what do we do now? Oh no, wait, yeah, this is more likely going to be the Titan's Mitts for Ravis, which will give him access to Ice Palace. Well, no, not really give access to Ice Palace, but yeah, there's that Titan's Mitts right there.
The Titan's Mitts. That's a pretty gross place for the Mitts, honestly. A lot of players wait until they have Dark Death Mountain access before they ever do Spike Cave.
Yeah, but since it's in there, you have to do that no matter what. And I always have to do things like Super Bunny, Hookshot Cave, and even check Turtle Rock's Medallion.
Oh, he hasn't even been in Desert yet. That's right. Oh my gosh.
So, Reva's actually being paid off here, considering that he never went to Desert Palace, and he won't know that it's boots locked until he eventually finds the boots. He wants us to wait on it in case it's boots locked.
He may end up going there before getting the boots, but
yeah, to get
like the Mitts open up so much of the game, and like all these checks here on Dark Death Mountain for one, and where he'll probably find more progression.
Mm-hmm. And we have our first bottle.
We can save the sick kid, you guys.
Although it has a bean.
Is the answer.
Like what? Nectar or honey is the answer to curing sick kid?
No, you just like grind it up into some flour and make bread. And Humans have been eating insects for thousands of years, Renderer.
I'm talking like it says having bee stuff. Like, ew, that's disgusting. By the way, ethers require return to rock, which we have which we do have, so that's good. It's
Another
bee in a bottle.
All right, we're gonna make him super healthy.
And there's our Bombo's medallion, so all 3 medallions are accounted for.
Yeah, Bombo's actually very important. It gives access to Ice Palace. We can get the boots. I don't know if anybody wants to go to Pendant Ice Palace with Fighter Sword and Bombo's medallion, but it's an option.
Rafe is opting to go for Turtle Rock first.
Yeah, no, this makes a lot of sense. Like, most likely he'll just get knocked out after the first test. But if the Fire Rod's in here, this is a huge move. And it's not a very big time loss at all. Like, you're going to have to open TR eventually anyway.
Yeah.
So you're really only double dipping, like, the first room. That's right. There is some particular key layouts where he could get very, very deep in the dungeon and end up wasting a ton of time. But it's rare, right? It's rare. And the deeper the game lets him get in the dungeon, the more likely there is we'll find something good here.
And a piece of hard requires a hammer. It's not really descriptive of what it really could be. It could be on like, it could be just like hammer peg, Scanus Tower, the all of Swamp Palace.
And we find a big key in that first
key.
chest.
And that's, yeah, as you mentioned, it's not a big a time loss, so.
Okay, so I'm very curious what Ravis is going to do now, because, like, go to Crystal Dungeons, you know, he'd want to go to Desert, but he knows where the boots are. It looks like... I don't know where he's going. I think he's going to fake flipper into ice. Ooh, what a big play.
Yeah, that's a good idea for Ravis to do this fake flipper. It's an out of logic for him, but he's gonna get paid out anyway, considering he already has the knowledge to do so, to at least get the boots out of.
Right. But keep in mind, right? He doesn't know that Desert is boots locked. So from his point of view, this is a huge gamble to go into Pendant Ice Palace out of logic to get the boots that he doesn't even know are required.
Yes,
like, this is a massive move for Ravis. I love this.
Yes, that is a good play that I look to make, but he may also be paid out more if he finds like the Fire Rod here.
He did not grab the sword on Hylia Island first, though. But he wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah, because considering he needs the flippers anyway, and it can't be in here because it requires flippers, and you need items in Turtle Rock too.
I bet it's the boots.
Not gonna comment on that.
Well, you should just take the bet then. Ear Agent is going places. I have no idea where, actually. What are you doing, Fear Agent?
I'm curious as what he's trying to do.
Did he skip something in Eastern?
If he did, then that is going to be that's painful. But I'm not sure why he took the long route to get to Eastern Palace.
He must have like skipped the vanilla big key chest or something and thinking that it's going to be progression. I'm very, very confused right now. I guess we'll find out what he's going to do.
Raven is using the hook shot to get some invisibility frames on these weird black ghost things. And since he has a hook shot, he does not need. And since since Ice Palace is a pendant, he does not have to worry about doing the bomb jump. And considering he already has a hook shot anyway, so it's not really too concerned about.
I think that must be what happened. He had like a 50-50 on the boss or the vanilla big key chest having an item, and he went to the boss, and now he feels bottlenecked and is going back for it.
So where was it found the boots? It was on the hook shot locked side.
Oh, did he leave right after getting boots?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I don't like that. He should have stayed. I mean, there might not be anything. It's just you don't want to come back to ice, right?
Yeah, this might be risky for Ravis just to get the boots and leave like that. I mean, it is risky if there's progression on Ice Palace that he had skipped out, then that's a huge time loss for him.
Yeah, thanks so much, chat, for your support. I mean, it's a very common situation. Like, you see this in Randomizer way more often than it should actually happen. The Fire Rod being locked by the Bombos Medallion in Ice Palace. So I would have definitely stayed in Ice Palace, but it does take time to go through the rest of Ice Palace, so it's a gamble, just like anything else, to leave, just as much as it is to stay. And Rave is about to find out that his play was so good when he learns that this is actually boots locked.
Yeah, it's because the comp is there. Fear getting his Titan's it's gonna be pretty disappointed to find that here, considering he had to last location that before his next spear. Like, it was like, what, spear 2?
Yeah, that's a good point, Hyro Fellows.
So yeah, that play paid off pretty well for him to get that big key.
Looks like Edium's making a similar play, also going into Ice Palace. A little later than Ravis did, because Edium, I believe, did go into Desert and found out that it was boots locked.
Now, the question is will Edium stay in Ice Palace and check and pretty much do a full clear of that?
I think it's less likely for him to do that than it was for Ravis.
I mean, if he finds progression in Ice Palace, if he decides to go for the full clear, which is a big gamble, if it pays off, it will pay off for him significantly, and Ravis will take a huge hit and be punished significantly for that.
Oh yeah, like for anybody who double dips ice, it's massive. Even if you like went back to ice right away, it's already like a 2-3 minute time loss just to walk through the front again.
Ravis opening up the Lamb Molus fight.
Yeah, I don't believe we found any progression in here so far. But if I remember correctly, this should be an item on the boss.
And that was an excellent Lamb Molus fight. And that's silver arrows for Ravis.
I mean, it's nice. It's not super awesome, though.
Yeah, so at this point...
Ravis should do the boots checks next, I think.
Yeah, boots checks would be the better option here. Just You have King's Tomb, you have the Bonk Rocks.
Like, he feels good, right? I went and got the boots out of Logic, and they led to nothing in Desert, but they were still required. But I need more stuff, so I have more places to go.
Yes.
So he wants those boots to be the answer to that progression. So boot checks just make the most sense right now. King's Tomb, just 20 rupees.
So at this point in the game, we're just looking for flippers and the fire rod.
Well, we won't need flippers.
Right, but since we already have that covered.
Yeah, flippers will be logically required, right, for to get to the boots, but
yeah, for logically.
Everybody wants to skip them forever and ever. And Ravis finds nothing behind those boots.
It's gonna be the Ice Palace play. He's gonna be out of logic, but
so it looks like Smith Sequence is probably our best bet at this point.
Yeah, Smith Sequence is also good. Is also a favorable idea for him.
If he finds flippers from Smith Sequence, though, like that's gonna feel really bad. It will mean he can get into like Swamp, though. So as long as he doesn't have to go back to Ice, he's fine. And it looks like Edium's actually going to continue through Ice Palace.
Piece of Hearts in the castle, we've pretty much figured that out right at the start of the game. We're just going for the stick edge play. Only our container, or heart piece rather.
Wolfie will be the only one of our runners not to sequence break their way with these flipper checks. Although I guess he did the first fake flipper.
Yeah, but that's the only sequence break that Wolfie has done. Only a heart piece, so that fulfills that hint that said the a piece of heart requires a hammer.
Do we find a fire rod? Chat's like yelling at me. Oh my god, Edium has the fire rod in Ice Palace.
Yeah.
That's so bad for Ravis.
Oh, that sucks for Ravis. Considering that now that pretty much means you need those flippers that Wolfie just picked up from the blacksmiths in order to get that fire rod. It's a double dip for Ravis.
And there's no way he's doing it before Swamp. Like, he's gonna get his flippers, he'll probably do, like, the purple chest, and then he'll just go straight into Swamp Palace, which we know does not have the fire rod. It can still have something he needs, like, we still need the flute.
Yeah, that'll put us in no mode, but that pretty much now means that you need the flippers in order to get the seed done. I am dropping down into this pot to get some fairies to heal up in case things go south.
Yeah, best case scenario for Ravis at this point is that Swamp does have the flute, and everybody else skips Swamp and goes straight to TR and full clears it for nothing. And even then, it's going to be like a wash, right? Because he's going to have this double dip of Ice Palace. Oh, Ravis going to do the flipper checks first before heading over to Swamp. I can't imagine him going back into Ice right away.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's doing his flipper checks that it's already done. Everyone else has done. It's for Ravis, he hasn't done that yet. And he's going to pretty much be led astray. Maybe going for Swamp Palace, which if he's going for Swamp Palace, he's further distancing himself from that fire rod.
Wolfie, though, does win the sword game. Our first player to reach the Master Sword.
It makes sense for Wolfie to go for that sword while she's there, just so that to make this Ice Palace play not as treacherous. Which is a fire sword, but even then, you only just need a hook shot to get through most of the Ice Palace anyway, so you're not really going to pull out that sword a whole lot.
Did Fear leave before getting the fire rod? Is Fear Agent, is that what you did?
I believe that's what he did.
Fear Agent.
He fell into the same trap that Ravis did, not realizing that the fire rod is in Ice Palace and didn't go for that full clear.
I can't blame him though, right? Like he's got to be feeling pretty behind after that double dip of Eastern.
Yeah,
it can be really difficult to avoid that sense, that idea where like, oh man, my gambles haven't paid off. I better make more gambles to make up for my gambles.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. I get led astray too much in the gambles, and I just keep going down this rabbit hole of gambling, and nothing pays out.
I think Fear will probably head over to Desert next.
Yeah, that's the next possible thing he can do.
A good Silver is there, but you know, not much else. And Ravis is now making his way into Swamp Palace after he goes over here. Never mind.
Or his Bombos medallion, he hasn't done that yet.
Gosh darn it, Ravis. Just do what I tell you to, man.
Now, as I'm thinking about this, Turtle Rock might be a good option for Edium to make, considering now he has the fire rod in hand.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can't imagine him doing anything else, honestly. It does look like he's gonna go over and do Graveyard Ledge though. Maybe he forgot about the hint. Or he's going to Kingston? What are you doing? Where are we going?
He's going for the catfish play. Or... No, he's actually... Wait, he's going for the sword.
He's getting the sword, right, okay.
I'm not familiar with that whirlpool, so...
He was sequence breaking to the sword, setting up the water walk. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Revis now, as we predicted, he's going to be led astray into Swamp Palace.
Right, so best case scenario for Revis, flute in Swamp.
But since Edium has the fire rod, and considering that he might just he did that play to he did the save and quit to get to the mountain, he might be thinking of going for Turtle Rock next.
It's a little surprising to me that Edium didn't go finish off Desert first. Like, there was still an item there for him.
Yeah, those silver arrows.
And looks like Wolfie will be making his way to the Fire Rod. Good job.
Yeah, Wolfie staying in Ice Palace is a good play, because since he won't be led astray to do things like the flippers, or at least do Swamp Palace, having him stay here, well, after he got the boots. It makes sense for him to go through here and get everything all cleared out. And not very happy about that fire rod location.
Well, he should be happy.
Yeah, I don't agree with those rage lashes.
Revis not finding much in the front of Swamp, headed to the flooded room now.
Yeah, because that's the only thing he can really do. He knows that the big chest is empty. We know that left side swamp's empty. It's the big key, but since the big chest is empty, or at least empty in terms of progression and items and like, it's not worth for him to go that way. There's another bottle with another bee in it. There's a can of Burna over on Edium's side in Turtle Rock.
You need that.
Raven's on Argus.
Doing little double pulls here with the fighter sword when Argus lets him.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tricky one because normally you'd see this with the Master Sword to get the tempered sword damage that you need and make this fight a lot more quicker.
The mushroom in Turtle Rock. Yes, please. We found a unique item in Turtle Rock, you guys. It's all over now. Might as well leave.
And Revis finding absolutely nothing in Swamp Palace. You get this green pendant, or not even a green pendant. Or no, it is a green pendant. What am I saying?
I wonder if he'll turn in the green pendant first. It looks like he's going to head over to Fake Flipper back into ice. Oh, no, actually Flipper and Ice. Yeah, that's right, he did the Smith sequence. Oh, maybe just getting the sword and then going to turn in the green pendant. Ooh. We haven't found a green pendant hint, right? Like, it can be the flute.
If it is, then it's a big payout for Ravis. Which means that Edium would have to go back into Swamp Palace in order to at least catch up.
Looks like Ravis will be turning in that green pendant, and we will find out shortly if Swamp was empty. Ba, ba, da, ba, 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 ba.
10 arrows. So Ravis had to make that play to at least survive, at least keep himself in the game, and not paying out well. So Edium's play in Turtle Rock is going to be the better option. This will probably be the flute here. Otherwise, I don't know where else to go. But it's very
unfortunate for Ravis.
But most likely, it is going to be on Laser Bridge.
Do you say that because we've already seen everything else?
Pyramid Fairy, from what I can...
It could be Tridex.
Trinex too, yeah. That makes Trinex is also a possibility. We know that the Pyramid Fairy is dead. So there's that key that we need to get into Trinex. A compass. And our flutes. So
that's go mode.
Yeah, that's a go mode of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 23 seconds.
Edium, you are a god.
So him going deeper into Ice Palace was what managed to get him the lead here.
Oh yeah, no, that was an absolutely huge play. Ravis and Fury Agent, unfortunately, both left after getting those boots. They are pretty behind.
Yeah, considering that they were led astray into Swamp Palace and having to be fallen into a trap that Sashrola set up with the green pendant only gives 10 arrows, Ravis has to double dip the double dip Ice Palace. And really, he should have just stayed back in there, and if he had stayed there, he would have had the lead. He would have had to kept the lead. He would have kept his lead, and we wouldn't be in this situation where Edium is in the lead, and Trinex is the only thing. Well, not the only thing he's staying his way, but he's ridiculously close. But he is at 1 heart, so he's got to be cautious.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh, that's a rough death for Edium.
He has a fairy, it's fine.
I mean, yeah, he's got the fairy. He did it. He did have it for protection, so he did that when he went for Ice Palace.
And Ravis does make his way back into Ice Palace, which will put him back on track.
Unfortunately, but ridiculously behind.
Yeah, the problem with like leaving Ice Palace early is it's not like I leave Ice Palace with the boots, go to the boot checks, and then go back to Ice Palace. That never happens. If you leave Ice Palace early, Ice Palace becomes the very last thing you'll ever do. As we see, Ravis went into Swamp, he went to Catfish, he checked the green pendant, he did everything he possibly could before ever coming back. And if in the back of Ice Palace there was more progression, you pretty much like just straight up lose. Or at least, like, lose a bunch of time, rather.
Yes. So, Edium...
Yeah, he's gonna go activate his flute.
Yeah, go for his flute. More likely going to go for Misery Mire. No, not even Misery Mire. Go for Skullwoods, Misery Mire, Desert Palace, Hera. Okay, I'm activating his flute now.
I would expect him to do Desert first. He might do Skullwoods first. Like, he's the Master, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, that's
Desert
why I'm
first
saying,
would
like,
never
let's
be
go for...
like the best bet though, because like we know that you get silvers from killing Landmo, which would make Vitreous like super simple, and then on your way looking for the big key in Mire, you might find a sword to make Mothula even easier.
But no, he's going for Misery Mire first, then maybe going for Desert Palace and Skullwoods, then Hera.
He's gonna do Mire first. Why?
It's gonna be Bombos.
I disagree. I mean, he can just mirror into Desert after killing Vitreous, I suppose. It makes it feel good.
Yeah.
I don't believe Edium's killed Mothula.
No, he hasn't killed Mothula. None of the runners had done Mothula, considering that the Fire Rod was in Ice Palace, and they haven't really done much.
Yeah, we found both items in Skullwoods for all 4 runners without the Fire Rod. So everybody knows that they can just go back there whenever they please. So it makes sense to do Mothula last, because it's one of the most affected by having better equipment.
Well, I'd more like to say put Hera last, considering that it's just a mirror from Ganon's tower.
Okay. Did you think I wanted him to go up to Hera and then go back down to Mothula? I thought it was understood, Professor Renderer.
No, I would, because really doing Hera first, then Skullwoods it's a waste of time.
Or is it the biggest brain play of all?
I beg to differ, but whatever.
Okay, it's probably not. It's probably not.
No Gummer from
This is-
Idiom, but it doesn't really matter.
This could be like the one bug seed where there's 3 items in Hera, right? And Moldorm actually drops a magical, hypothetical item we've never seen before that just gives him the Triforce. You didn't think about that, did ya?
Okay then.
Idiom says, just give me the big key already. Gosh darn it, game.
It's gonna be in the cutscene chest, the firelock portion. Well, for killing Tridax, by the way, he did take a death. Right, a fairy. And there it is.
Riv on track, making his way through Turtle Rock here. Fear Agent still not having gone back to Ice Palace to get that fire rod. Or did he? And I just missed it. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Oh, he's checking pet. No. Fear.
You know, this is a time lost for Eddie, for not Eddie, Fear Agent. Yeah, big waste of time there.
Eddie, I'm gonna show us some spooky mire. Be careful, guys. This is way too spooky.
Yep, some Anslo glitches going on here. Not like the Anslo glitches, which cause like RNG manipulation, but it's just a manipulation of the splash damage of the fire rod, so that way you can open up gates. Rivers did die on the most annoying room of the game, the chain shop room.
They're cute doggos. What are you talking about? Everybody loves
like
doggos. Raven's probably just had bacon in his pocket.
So Idiom slashing his sword while he's in the cave just so he can save some magic and at least squeeze out a little bit more magic than normal, considering how that the magic as he's swinging his sword a lot of times, it just makes him use less magic. I don't know how that really works, but it does.
Well, like with most glitches in A Link to the Past, it stems from the idea that A Link to the Past just can't do 2 things at the same time. And when you're slashing all those eyes, there's just too much information for the game to process, and it kind of forgets that you are supposed to be spending magic.
Gotcha. And Wolfie found a tempered sword from the potion shop.
There's probably like a much better technical explanation, but I like the idea that the game's just stupid.
Yeah. It's
It just
1.0. It's 1.0. The most glitchiest version of the game that we luckily did not get. Sure, we still have EG, but still.
And Fear Agent has made his way back into Ice Palace, where he will find his fire rod. Unfortunately, he might still feel pressured to continue through the dungeon, looking for the flute. The fire rod opens up quite a bit, though. I think he'd probably leave after getting it. This last whisper have given Wolfie a heck of a time.
Yeah, that room is kind of weird, kind of tricky and pretty annoying. So at this point in the game, Edium is a full dungeon, at least now. He will be a full dungeon ahead of Wolfie. So Edium got him his silver arrows, so his gain of fight won't be painful. He will have to do 12 sword spins. He has 12 spins per phase. In phases 1 and 2.
Edium's gonna pick up some potions.
Now, if I was Edium right now, I would probably use... Okay, so he's just gonna mirror out. He's gonna loot out.
What did you think he was gonna do?
I was expecting him to use his mushroom to he can get his temper sword.
Oh. Is that temperate sword? Do we know that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Wolfie has it. You're right.
Wolfie has a temper sword. He got it from
I totally missed that.
Yeah, it would have been better for Edium to just take that couple seconds to turn in the mushroom and get a tempered sword for a little bit of peace of mind.
Do we have a hint for it? Like, does he know it's a tempered sword?
No, he doesn't know.
Okay, yeah, then it makes sense that he didn't do it. And Fear Agent, the consummate professional, immediately saving quits after getting his fire rod. No rage slashes, no bombos casting. Let's go, Fear Agent, let's go.
Maybe even bomb in the chest. Wolfie having to spend a little bit more time in this dark room because he did not set up the spooky action. Leaving Hera made him a lot more. Leaving Hera alone before, instead of just clearing it normally, will have him at a pretty big advantage going into this up into Ganon's tower.
Wait, you're talking
Everyone
about
else has to. Yeah, Edium is for Edium. This is for.
No, it's still a time loss that he didn't finish Hera when he was up there.
Well,
I mean, there will be a shorter trip between his last crystal and the opening GT, but he still has to go all the way through Hera again.
Right, but I don't know. So technically speaking, it's going to be a close race.
I think the main thing that changes is chat will only have 4 seconds to spam numbers as Moldorm dies.
Yeah, but yeah, well. So Wolfie might be the first player to get into Ganon's tower. Well, actually, no. Edium actually will be the first one to get into Ganon's tower because Wolfie's got to do Desert Palace, and he's got.
Oh yeah, no. Edium still has a pretty significant lead. It's not so significant that GT routing couldn't make a difference, or that Tempered Sword couldn't make a difference. But right now, Edium definitely has a very clear advantage.
Yeah, even if he spent some time, had to do a time loss for Tower Hera.
Fear Agent going through Turtle Rock, where he will eventually find his flute. That'll be his go mode item. Ravis also clearing up his final crystal here in Skull Woods. Alright, he has Souls Mire, never mind.
Mire.
Darn Meyer.
Alright, so Eddie, I'm gonna flute outside. It's a little bit farther than I would want it to be. It's not like it's directly in front of Ganon's tower. It's just off.
Yeah, I think he might have like forgot about Hera for a second and was expecting GT to open.
Yeah, but during that, I don't know. If I'm not mistaken, Wolfie hasn't done Skull Woods.
No, I don't think so.
So yeah, Edium has the clear advantage here, even if he has spent some time in Moldorm, and not fighting Moldorm first.
Alright, just to make this easier on chat, let's just assume he doesn't fall to Moldorm, and we can start guessing now. Moldorm will drop Edium's... Never mind, he just fell. He just fell. Stop, don't guess! Stop guessing! You're not allowed to guess! Hang on! No, it's okay. Yeah. Edium is going to kill Moldorm. It'll be the 7th crystal, and then he'll go into Ganon's Tower, where there are 22 item locations that can contain the big key that he needs to finish the game. If you would like to guess in which of those locations he will find that big key, do so now.
Alright, it's a really quick one, but you can also choose from Random Room, Dark Magician Room, or Selfless Room, Fire Snake Room, Damascus, enough Tile Room. My guess will always be the same, though. It will be 11, preferably Random Room. But because because Cyclone chose it, and I stuck with it.
I have no control over this game, you guys. Okay, you can't blame me for anything that happens.
Alright, starting with number 1 through 2 in the Hope Room. Get a key. Number 1 and 2, another key. So with those 2 keys, it's gonna go right.
It's never Compass Room.
Well, since he got 2 keys, he might just he's gonna go through right anyway, considering that it's he will get a key back.
Yeah, it's a pretty common routing decision when you get a key in the Hope Room like that. We call this the hybrid route. It's kind of like an in-between route between Dark Magician and the Hope route.
Right, 3 is 20 rupees. Number 4 is a compass. Number 5, 20 rupees. And number 6, and there's that big key.
It's never Compass Room when I do it.
And Rise Storm with the big brain play and choosing 6 correctly.
GG. It looks like Fear Agent took a death somewhere. Maybe on Trinex. And he's not doing nothing. Oh no, Fear Agent, don't forfeit, Fear Agent, please.
Luckily, he hasn't by now. He hasn't. So yeah.
I mean, this has not been a very fun seed for Fear Agent, right? Like, none of his gambles seem to pay off. like skipping that item in Easter Palace, came back to bite him. Leaving Ice Palace really hurt. Oh, he had him taking a death though.
Oh,
I think he still has a fairy.
he's got a fairy, yeah.
Fine.
That is not the right. That is not a fun place to die, especially when you're starting the gauntlet. And that was his second fairy too. So we'll be going into Hope Rune first. We'll see if he decides to go for the left side afterwards. Okay, so he's going right, so he will be following the same path as Edium is. Though that menu might be just marginally slower. Oh, he's actually going for the tile room first.
I'm doing tile room, baby.
He's gonna pay some time to do the tile room, so this will leave have some Edium room to get through the gauntlet and add some more time to his lead. Luckily for Edium, he did find a fairy, so he's gonna catch that, and just got some luck there. Ravis has gotten his 7th crystal and is off to gain his tower. And Fear Agent gonna do some swag and do some hovering, and really gets off the ground.
Oh, Fear Agent.
Okay, he's going.
You can do it, Fear! I believe in you!
He's just doing it. I mean, he knows he's behind, so he's just gonna do it for the sake of swag and does not make it all the way.
Close, so close.
He's gonna do it again.
You can do it. You can do it.
He's
do
close.
No! Oh God, Fear Agent, no! Drink a potion. Come on.
And
do it again.
With that, I think he's gonna do it one more time. Or, is he?
Alright, 3rd time's the charm. Just think about how much time will be saved, you guys, if he makes it all the way across this and doesn't have to use magic. He'll have like a whole extra shot.
No, that's not it. No, that's it. That's it.
Oh.
And with that, he has forfeited from the race.
Poor Fear Agent.
And to be fair, he had spent a whole lot of time. He had made all these gambles that didn't pay off, and he got sucked into that trap about leaving the boots, like leaving the fire right after getting the boots in Ice Palace, and then having the oh, that's kind of interesting. At the end, just doing an item dash while using the bug net to do that.
Get him with some bug net swag.
I mean, he's already in the lead anyway. Like he's got a Jurassic lead, so he might as well just show off for the crowd.
Like he's trying to do it, but he keeps like either getting blue balled or just missing the item dash.
There we go. Imperial Agent in the chat with here. He's probably not going to be joining us for an interview, so.
Why not?
Come
Well,
on,
I mean,
Peter.
he honestly, I don't blame him for just saying like he missed the item. Like he had to skip Easter and just went downhill for him. Eddie, I'm on the Ganon fight. Grievous has entered Ganon's tower.
Oh, where was Butter's sword?
It was probably in GT.
Well, if he has the Butter's sword, I have no idea where.
It
Oh, it
in
was
this
tile room? Oh, God.
tile room. So that okay. So that little time. Again, it's not really worth that's like to do tile room. All things considered, it's just marginally quicker. So Eddie, if he had went for tile room, then he would have had his sword, but it's in a really rude spot anyway. So most likely Eddie would not do it either way. So instead, he's got to be being punished for 24 spins. But Wolfie making pretty steady progress. Oh, Eddie taking a death. He's got a fairy, so he's good. But Wolfie is approaching really quickly. He's got no magic too. He's got a potion, so he can drink that.
We have silvers though. Like, it's not.
Yeah, of course he's got silver.
Eddie's fine as long as he doesn't like straight up die or on Ganon. He'll be fine.
Yes. So I'm phase 3, so he's covered for now. He's pretty much covered anyway.
He's not gonna die to Ganon, you guys. Calm down.
I know, but if he takes a fall, that'd be catastrophic.
Chet's trying to insinuate that I have control over the fates and can cause Edium to die.
But he's on Aga 2, right? I finished Aga 2. Off to Ganon.
I promise to only use my powers for good.
All right, we got the arrows from Desert Palace, specifically Moldorm. Gonna use that torch glitch because he has he just has not any better strategies other than that. So it's just got 2. They have 4 arrows on him, and he should be clear. Oh, that was weird. But fired a shot and he had the fire rod out.
Ow.
Not a good position to do it. One more and he's good. He missed.
Oh, you
the
missed!
shot.
You missed! Edium, please!
Ooh, and that's it. It's the game. I get your G in chat for Edium as he's going to be crossing that bridge pretty soon. And we'll be finishing in first place on the restream with an official SRL time of 1:48.54, and that is good enough for 6th place overall. Our first place winner is going to be none other than Buntub with a time of 1:31.11, and then Phyllis in 2nd place with a time of 1:39.55 or 35 rather. Salty Fry in 3rd place with a time of 1:43.12. 1 of 40, the time of 1:46.45 in 4th place, and Asclepius Rod, I want to say, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, in 5th place with a time of 1:48.46. And with that,
we
Wolfie
will be
is also
joined by
crossed to us,
Edium shortly in the voice chat, but in the meantime, I believe we have another runner here with us. Hello, Fear Agent.
Alright.
That was a really impressive cover until you fell.
Yeah, it's not impressive if you fall.
I was still impressed. That was a really long way to hover.
Oh man, it hurts. It hurts going that long, and then falling like right before, and then doing it again. I was like, I mean, at that point, I was already done. I was pretty tilted.
Wolfie also takes down Ganon. GG. Welcome, Wolfie, to the voice chat.
GG's. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
That was a pain.
So you were actually the only one of our 4 runners to get the flippers before the boots.
Oh wow, yeah. Sure.
Everybody
can
else
see
just
that.
they flippered right in there. And unfortunately for Fear and Ravis, they left after getting the boots, which came back to bite them pretty hard.
Yeah, last locating that mid always bites me. I always last locate Spike Cave. Always.
And Eddie joins us as well. GG, congratulations, being the first of our restream runners to finish.
Hey, GG's. Wasn't really expecting that, but I guess I'm gonna guess most people get trolled by those mitts.
Yeah, I think nearly everybody got the mitts like super late. You got them significantly earlier than most people. Like most people went into desert first and found out it was boots locked before going up to Spike Cave.
I thought I did go into desert
Did
first
you?
because
Maybe I'm mistaken.
I just remember my options were like Catfish, Zora, and Spike Cave, and I chose Spike Cave because it was shorter than having to make that whole trek over to Catfish.
I did the opposite.
I tried to use those bug net strats on Aga too, but
Yeah.
I did them pretty well last night in the swordless when you pretty much had to use the bug net, but I couldn't get them all that well today, so that cost me a place in the race. But
Yeah, it looked like you were missing some of the item dashes, like
Yeah.
not even getting the item dash, and then the times where you actually got the item dash, Aga like blue balls you right in the face and ruins it.
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't do that in a like a serious race, but in a daily, I don't really care that much.
But your SRL points.
Yeah, I guess I'll lose a couple, but I'll get them back.
Also, what made you decide to go for the full clear now that you got as soon as you got the boots?
I just didn't want to leave anything behind. I'd already checked PED, so I knew if there was nothing on Cold Stare, I could skip it, no problem. There was an item on Cold Stare, but it didn't matter. Why did some people leave after the boots?
Yes,
Hi,
the
Fear
entire
Agent.
right side did.
That really sucks.
I
That's
last
what I was
location.
thinking.
I last
Sorry.
location the mitts and the fire rod, so that was awesome.
Yeah, that's rough.
I even skipped an item in Eastern and went back to it before I did Spike Cave like a moron. I played this seed probably. I mean, it was sad.
Yeah, I think that was the most surprising thing because like I feel like if you make that gamble in Eastern, you have to make that your last location, right?
Well, I forgot about Spike Cave.
Oh, okay. That explains that then.
Yeah,
So for you, it was your last location.
it was. I forgot. I would have done Spike Cave if I had remembered it before going to Eastern. But we had so few hearts, and I forgot about the cape and whatever. So.
Where were those flippers at?
Smith.
Okay. Yeah, that was probably going to be my next check if I didn't find the fire rod in Ice Palace. I see
kind of a
Wolfie
cool
found
scene.
a... Yeah, it was
Yeah.
an interesting one.
Yeah,
I
Wolfie
found the
all
gold sword,
swords. Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I water walked to get the Highly Island one.
Yeah, I got that second, and after I got to go mode, I thought, I wanna check a couple things. Third was on Mushroom, and last one was Tile Room in Genstar. And yeah, I pretty much always do the Tile Room gamble.
You always do?
Pretty much lately, yeah.
What if no one else has finished? Like, do you still do it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess not.
You'd consider it.
I consider it, yeah, but I felt pretty behind, so I thought, why not?
It's one of the fun things about Rando, though. It's like even if you're ahead, you still feel behind.
Oh yeah. I always think, let me open GT before someone finishes. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Yeah, if I can get to GT before anyone finishes, like, I usually feel pretty decent about that.
Yeah. Like last Friday, I thought, I opened GT, nobody finished. Okay. I got 2, nobody finished. Okay, I got first. Nice.
Oh, Rav is taking a death on his Master Sword Ganon fight with no fairy. Unfortunate.
Yeah, that's the reason why I checked for some swords.
I got a lot of use out of that bug net throughout the race.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, me too for Trinex, actually.
Is it just me, or the seeds really mean? Like, version 30 was just mean. The seeds are mean. That's all I can think about.
Yeah, I don't
They
really
are.
notice a difference between like 29 and 30, but I didn't play before version 29, so maybe the seeds were like really nice before that.
I just remember there used to be a thing called jet seeds, and I don't know if I've seen one of those before. In version.
Wait, what's that? I don't remember.
What
have-
even is a jet seed anyway? Like,
I have my PB seed saved. I will share it with you, Fear Agent, so you can feel good about yourself again, okay?
taking another death on the Raven on the Ganon fight.
I still can't believe I missed that hover like right before the.
Right, you were so close.
I was so close.
This is why I bought a blue potion before Ganon, because I also suck at Master Sword Ganon.
I'm not too bad at MS Ganon, but it does take me time.
Oh, there's a nice position. Yeah, Ganon was given such awful positions. Oh, he was in phase 1 though. That would have been perfect in phase 2.
I like to like for phase 1, like I'll wait on the last hit until he's in a nice position for phase 2, and then I'll phase him over, just so I can get those like easy like 8 hits right away.
Yeah. Probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, normally it would be fine if I just had a potion in hand, especially with an on MS Ganon. It makes things a lot more easier for me.
Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Renderer. Like being prepared with safeties can save just as much time as just like being amazing at the game.
Yeah, it's just having a safety is pretty much, you need to have a safety unless you're really good at MS Ganon, which I'm not. But
yeah, it's like you know, the idea that everything's a gamble in Rando, right? And sometimes that gamble is gambling on your execution. Or against it, as it were.
yeah, I mean, I did say one time I boasted I could do MS Ganon on command, but then after I thought about it, I was like, wait, no, I can't really do it without potions. So ignore me. Maybe it's taking another death.
Oh,
I think you might go down and grab a potion or a fairy this time.
Nope. It's still going.
Going right back in. Let's do it.
nah, he forfeited. Didn't he? No, he didn't. Never mind.
And I will say though, one of my first ever completed seed was a Master Sword Ganon, and I learned that on the fly. And then my second seed following that was just Swordless Ganon, which I learned on the fly.
Oh, taking 2 hits from the trident there. Yeah, just
he's
start
gonna-
over.
He's gonna kill himself intentionally just to do that. Getting 2 hits on that trident is not fun. And it looks like Ravis has forfeited from the race.
No, Ravis!
Yikes.
Sorry, guys. It's all right, guys. It's all right. You're still nice in our hearts, Ravis.
It's the wrong parentheses. It should be an unhappy face.
I mean, you can still write a smiley with that either way. I just do a C colon.
But will we get an interview? Because I want to talk to Ravis.
Yeah, you wanna give some quick words.
But I will say though, we did have a finisher, 2 finishers in fact, before Ravis, and we had Dracaris in 8th place with a time of 1:50:32, and we did in Shiva Hayes 87 with a time of 1:56:47 in 9th place, and we're joined by Ravis.
Hi, Ravis.
Hello.
Ganon was being mean today, huh?
That's Ganon, it's okay. Ganon was just the result of everything that happened.
Yeah, kind of an unfortunate seed for your and Fear Agent's routing, leaving that fire rod behind an ice palace.
Can you repeat? Sorry, I had a lag out.
Oh, I was just saying that it was unfortunate that your routing didn't pay off in this seed. Both you and Fear Agent left after getting the boots in Ice Palace, and that you leave Ice Palace, you're never going back, right?
Well, I had 1 item in Eastern, so guess that's not last location. Yay.
Yay.
Of course, the fire is now in there.
You were actually like pretty far ahead right up until that moment too.
I assume so. I played pretty good, but that's random for me in the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's always the same. Getting like 3-4 locations left max. Yesterday's the double last location. It's ridiculous right now. It's insane. I have no words. And you see at Ganon, even the Turtle Rock death, like wow, that RNG with the chain shops. It's amazing. It's simply amazing. I would call it amazing, yeah.
Incredible, even.
I'd rather forfeit at this point than buy potions, because that's something the seed tells me to. I know. Go get your potions. I know you're tilted. Get your potions. No, sir. I did everything you wanted, but not that.
You can't let the seed win.
Yeah, it's okay. I let the seed win, like the last 20 seeds. It's okay. Did we find a 3rd sword?
I got
there
gold.
was. Yeah, Wolfie had gold sword. It was the mushroom and tower room in GT.
Oh, I was considering turning the mushroom in. I was like, should I do that? Is it worth the like 15 seconds or whatever? Just for, and then I got the silvers on, what's his name, Landmo, and I was like, okay, no, I'm fine now.
So, how many of the restream did fall for the fire rod?
Wolfie and Edium both stayed in Ice Palace to get the fire rod, but you and Fear left after the boots.
I assume Fear did not get the fire rod as well.
Because he's a dirty gambler.
No, I assumed he didn't get the fire because
He forfeited.
Yeah.
That's pretty
And
good reasoning.
I totally understand.
I'm also a dirty gambler too, so.
Yeah.
Dirty hoverer.
But
Dirty gambler and
is it a
dirty
gambler?
hoverer.
Is it a gamble to leave Pendant Ice? Come on! I don't know how much you had opened.
I
at that
think,
point.
I was thinking about it at the time. Like, you get the boots, right? That unlocks 2 boots locations and Landmo. Like, I would have stayed personally, because I wouldn't think that the boots were good enough, you know.
Okay,
And then no, go ahead.
Yeah, the thought process of mine was, I'm getting Fire Rod next to get Flippers and Turtle Rock because we had a unique item in Turtle Rock.
Right.
That was my concern, and then we get
Yeah.
like a lot of water checks for the flute. That was way more likely than getting the flute in there and just have like 4 checks in my area, or 5 checks.
I still hadn't
And-
done Swamp, I don't think. I can't remember.
And-
Yeah, I sequence broke Ice Palace, so I still had. There's 3 items in Swamp I knew about. I hadn't done the Smith Chain, and I had Desert. So I don't know.
I mean, it was obvious that the next progression is either the Fire Rod or the Flippers, and I knew if I get the Flippers, I have to go into Swamp and not go back into Ice, because if you get those Flippers, and something is in Ice Palace still without the boots, someone will probably have it. And if you get the Flippers, you can only enter Swamp with the Flippers.
Yeah.
So you're kind of committed to do that. It's respectable for someone to go back into Ice. I have to say, respect in this seat, but that's I guess 1 in 20 chance.
Yeah, I think it's a gamble either way. Like whether you leave after the boots or stay and hope for something else.
It's up to how many locations you have. And I wasn't in Village of Outcast. Oh no, wait. I did have Smith Chain. I did have some things like 12 or 13 things.
All right, we need to wrap this up here, and me personally, I have to get out here pretty soon, about a couple minutes. But any final thoughts on this seed?
Spike Cave is hot. Always check Spike Cave.
Remember, have magic and cape together.
Who was it? I think it was you, Eddie. You had the opportunity to do Spike Cave way earlier, because you had
I
double dip
wasn't-
error, right?
Yeah, but I didn't think I could do it because I had the cape and 6 or 7 hearts, and I don't know if that was really enough to get through it. It would be risky.
Yeah, it was.
Same.
It
Also,
was.
you had
with
Death,
hookshot, cape, and
East
6
Death
hearts
Mountain,
is enough.
right? Did you have East Death Mountain already done?
No, because he didn't have the hammer when he was in Hero
Yeah,
the first
I
time.
went up to
That's more
Hero
track.
with no weapon.
Yeah.
I did Hero before Eastern.
Yeah, see, and that's more attractive to go than going Spike Cave. When you go up the second time with the hammer.
Yeah, he went up with the hookshot, right? So
Oh.
you were in this weird position where you had to choose between doing Spiral Cave and reclimbing Paradox to get to Spike Cave, or just do Spiral and quit.
Oh, I see. Also do Spike Cave.
Never do Spike Cave. Always Lava Cave. Always.
So yeah, thanks guys for having me or for having us. Gonna know about.
Yeah, thanks commentators and trackers.
Yep,
Yeah.
same.
Sorry, I think is the thing I could say. Sorry.
Just go practice.
It's
more.
all right. Okay, we still like you. We still love you.
I think this was just Dessert's Fear Agent for generating a swordless seed last night.
That was not my fault. That was blame Synac.
It was Synac. He's the one who made the bot.
Yeah, I just roll it.
Last night. But GG's everyone.
That's right, guys. Make sure you give these runners a follow. They did such a fantastic job for us, even if they didn't all, have the seed that they wanted. Wolfie, Fear Agent, Edium, and Ravis, great runners. Give them a follow. Also, our trackers, Shade and Mind of Me. Thank you guys so much for helping us out. And I have been your commentator, Koi, and with me, Professor Renderer.
I will also, before we go, I want to take a look at the schedule here to see what we have left for either the rest of the day and a little preview into what tomorrow is going to be like. So, starting right now on Speed Gaming 1, we have the Link's Awakening Warpless semifinals match against Spice Father and Say Cessor. I don't know. But then coming up at 8 o'clock, around 8 o'clock, 8:15, we have the next ALTTPR Speed Gaming Qualifier match, race number 10, qualifier number 10. And just shortly afterwards, also on Speed Gaming 1, we have the Ocarina Time Randomizer Qualifier race at number 8 for that particular tournament. And then at 9 o'clock on Speed Gaming 2, we have Wednesday Magic, The Gathering. And a little preview of what tomorrow is going to be like. we have at 2 p.m. the random casual seed, which means just running a random race with random options and just the casual weights. 6:30 is going to be the Donkey Kong Racing tournament, All Cups tournament rather, and at 9 o'clock, going to be the daily race for Open this time around for ALTTPR, and then on Speed Gaming, you do not want to miss this. The finals for the Super Metroid Double Anti-Bingo tournament against Kep and Derp. If you want to check those out, be sure to follow the Speed Gaming itself and Speed Gaming's 2 through 6. And if you want to look at some other tournaments that are in multilingual, you have the options between Dutch, German, French, and Spanish. So with that, finally we can end the stream off.
Bye, guys.
So that's Koi, and I'm Professor Render, and fare be well. Pretty much, or just thanks for watching. I don't know. But thanks for watching. That's all I'm gonna say. Bye.